On this episode of the Fresh Beef Podcast, we speak to two-star reviewer Reginald, who left a negative review at a bodyguard service.
He wanted to feel protected, but ended up feeling neglected.
After a while, you realize your safety is really, in question. The whole interaction kind of left me drained and scared, and I left without getting my coffee.
Stay tuned for all that and more on
Fresh Beef
with Dave and Jeremy.
The podcast about the culture,
Welcome to Fresh Beef, a podcast where we contact disgruntled consumer types
And allow them to air their grievances.
That's right, Dave. That's what we're doing. That's why we're here, trying to help the internet one patron at a time.
Correct.
That's right. So how are you, man? What's going on? What's the haps in your life? How's the little ones and everybody?
Oh, the little... Yeah, you still think I have kids.
Yeah, how are they? You doing the school thing yet? Like looking around or no?
Not looking around because I don't have any kids.
Okay. Yeah.
But...
Right.
Nice try.
Right. Okay, well, speaking of kids, here's something that most kids don't need unless they're celebrities, and that would be bodyguards, and that's kind of what we're talking about today.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, most of them don't need bodyguards.
Some of them do if you're like, one of the cruise kids or
I
one
bet
of
you
the...
needed a bodyguard growing up.
No, I didn't. I was pretty muscly. I wasn't. I was a weakling, and people pitied me. So I got out of most confrontations.
Oh, you went the pity route.
Plus, I had a brain tumor as a kid, so like nobody wanted to be the guy who knocked out the brain tumor kid.
Oh, he's coming with a sob story.
Yeah. But yeah, so I don't really have any experience. I don't know other than bouncers at doors, and I don't have any bodyguard experience really.
Right. Well, that's probably for the best. Well, we do have a weird review here.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anyone review a bouncer service or security service before, but
Right.
we do have a pretty negative Yelp review.
Two
here.
stars, Dave. Two
Two
stars.
stars. Yeah, let me pull it up. So this guy says, I have to say I'm extremely disappointed in this bodyguard service. These guys could not protect their way out of a paper bag.
Wow, that is a harsh.
The only reason I'm giving
statement.
them 2 stars instead of 1 is because they had nice haircuts.
I guess that's okay. Well, yeah. I don't know if I would write a review like that, but I guess that's why I'm on this side of the mic.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, there's I guess a whole lot of directions this could go. I have questions to say that.
I have questions. This makes very
Yeah,
little sense to me, but let's find out what happened.
Yeah, let's get to the call. Trish? Hey, thanks so much for calling. Who am I speaking with?
This is Reginald.
Reginald, how are you? This is Jeremy, and
this is Dave.
we're calling from the Fresh Beef Podcast. We just wanted to chat a little bit about your 2-star review you left.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah.
Yeah, so you left 2 stars at a security service, which I'm presuming is some sort of a bodyguard type thing?
Yes. As they advertised, it was supposed to be gentlemen for bodyguard and security work for my personal safety. And
Okay.
As the review stated, I was not happy with the services that I received.
From Safe Space Securities, I guess is what it's called.
And what's
Safe
going on?
space, yes.
And Reginald, what's going on with you that you need personal security?
I'm a very busy person. I work very hard, and I have a lot of interactions on a daily basis that, frankly, I don't feel safe. I feel like they are impeding my ability to function as a normal member of society. And it's daily events that happen all the time.
Wow.
It's a constant stream of non-safe opportunities.
Can you give us like some sort of an example, maybe? When was the moment you're like, oh, I need to get secured. I need some bodyguards.
Well, I know exactly the moment. I had gone out, taken a break from work, and I needed to get a coffee. I needed to pick me up. It was about 1 PM.
Oh, that's
I went to the local Starbucks. Walked in. After waiting online, I was accosted very heavily by the person behind the counter, just barraging me with questions. making me feel very safe, less, if you will. And well, the whole interaction kind of left me drained and scared, and I left without getting my coffee. And
Oh, wow.
I realized that I couldn't keep having interactions like this.
Wow.
What kind of questions were they asking you?
Oh, do you want a grande? Do you want to fill it to the top? Do you want room?
Those-
Was
do
this
you want to be charging this? What's my name? Whew,
These seem like,
it was rough.
yeah.
had you been in a coffee place before?
Yeah, I frequent coffee places. Usually I feel the same kind of pressure from a lot of people. But after a while, you realize your safety is really, in question when you interact with these people. I get it everywhere. I get it at car washes, restaurants. People come right up to me at restaurants, asking tons of questions. It was at that point I said I need some security. I need to be in a safe space when I'm in these environments.
Right. So
Yeah.
So that's where you contacted Safe Space Securities, and that's sort of painting a really nice picture. So tell us a little bit about the service and why you think you only left 2 stars.
Well, I really was expecting, first of all, the gentlemen were nice. They were lovely gentlemen that they sent over. But I was really expecting, more protection from these things that were bothering me, more protection from these unsafe interactions and,
Okay.
affronts to my personal space. And instead, I just was surrounded by 2 people who didn't really fulfill their duties, in my opinion.
Wow.
Lovely gentlemen, though.
Wow. Do you remember their names, perchance?
Yeah, I believe there was Matthew and Matt. Matt and Matthew.
Oh, 2 M's. Matthew and
Yes.
Max. Okay. Well, it's funny you mentioned that because we do have them in studio today. Part of the thing we do here on this podcast is we try to look at this from all angles and try to
okay.
get to the bottom. So, Matthew, if you go ahead and say hello.
Hey, how you doing? Matthew. I'm a personal bodyguard at Safe Space.
Safe Space. And you are Max, I presume?
That's me. Yeah, I'm Max. I'm Matthew's partner at Safe Space. I'm also a personal bodyguard, a two-man bodyguard team.
Gotcha. Okay. So anything you want to say right off the bat, Reginald?
Well, I think they were aware of the problems. I think, we were in these interactions together, and obviously I still don't feel safe. So I think they're probably aware of my feelings.
Wow.
Listen, Matthew here. I want to say, first of all, right now, as we're talking, this is a safe space.
Okay.
This
Yeah.
is something that we also like to encourage, not only a physical space around you
Okay.
to be fully protected, but also just a mental space that we like to
Gotcha.
to make sure is fully protected as well. So
I feel
anything that's said here is something that I want everyone to feel comfortable,
Gotcha.
open, and honest.
Yeah, we'd like to keep this. There's like there's an openness here, and I think that anything anyone wants to say, you can throw it out there, and we'll receive that, and you should just feel safe to say anything you need to say here. That goes for anyone, and nothing is hostile, nothing's off limits, and we could work anything out in a safe way.
Mhm.
wow.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, guys. I think that's a real testament to your professionalism.
Right.
Thank you.
So
Not to
thank you.
take sides.
right. Reginald, so from our end, I mean, we feel pretty safe here. We feel like we're in a space that is safe. They seem like great bodyguards. Like, why on earth would you give them 2 stars?
Well, as I've mentioned, very nice gentlemen. I did not give a 1-star review. They happen to be very nice,
Well.
really nice haircuts, well-groomed men. But there were incidents. I recall a time after they started, I didn't feel safe at my local dry cleaner. I really needed to make sure that I was protected from, the questions. So I had my bodyguards. It was one of their first duties.
Mhm.
Go in there and fend off the interactions I was facing. And when they came back, just things were not as I expected them. I expected a light starch and fold, and instead I had my shirts on hangers, and I felt very violated by that.
And can I
Yeah, please interject.
interject here? I mean, you got to look at us, right? I mean, you're talking two ex-military guys. What, 6? I'm 6'6". What are you, 6?
I'm 6'11".
Yeah. So you're talking two pretty physically imposing individuals
Right.
when you walk into a room.
Yeah,
Right.
we're pretty.
Right. Yeah.
Nobody wanted
we
to come
felt
into
it.
that dry cleaner, you know.
Right. And like, look, when we walk into rooms, it's definitely, we have a presence, right? And
Right.
that comes with assumptions about our personality, who we are. But in this situation, a lot of the things, the day-to-days that we were doing for Mr. Reginald, it didn't rely on our physical, what
Well,
we
that's-
offer physically, which is
right.
one of the main
That's what
packages
I was gonna,
that we can offer our clients.
Right, that's what I was going to inquire about, Reginald. Was that a lot of the stuff that you're sending them? A lot of these things that seem like just chores or just like personal assistant type things.
Right.
Did you ever try to like hire less of muscle and more of brains or anything like that?
Well, the thing is, I've never really wanted to be one of those people who need a personal assistant. I'd rather just focus on me and be someone who's on top of their organization. But like I said, it's the danger of these items. I once was at a shopping mall and I saw Delroy Lindo, and he had a bodyguard with him, and Delroy didn't have to order his Orange Julius. He could sit there, and the bodyguards knew what to get him. And I said, I want that. I want that type of safety.
Right.
I want the safety to know that these two gentlemen are guarding my wants and desires from the outside world, and that,
Right.
The Orange Julius clerk doesn't know that I like mine extra large with 2 straws. That's the safety aspect of it. It's not about a personal assistant. It's about safety.
All right. Who was that celebrity that you mentioned in the mall?
Delroy Lindo.
Delroy Lindo. And what's he or
Yes.
she famous for?
Delroy Lindo, I believe Gone in 60 Seconds is
Okay.
one of his most notable films.
Interesting.
Payback.
That's a great movie.
It is a good movie. I will
Man,
say
we used to watch.
It
Actually,
is
we
great.
watched that. God, what was that? Was it? I think I was in Virginia when I was at a base out there.
Wow.
And I'm just going to reiterate kind of what Max said here. We do normally deal, clubs.
We're both ex-military, so
Oh, okay.
we
Yeah.
have usually a higher protocol of danger that we're dealing with. So this was a little bit out of our comfort zone,
Right.
and just terms of this was more of a mediating type job.
Yeah.
I was in Kosovo in the late '80s.
Wow.
And doing special ops there. Matthews had his fair share of combat
golf.
time. He's a Gulf War veteran.
Gulf War veteran.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Golf.
Yeah, well, clearly
Wow.
you guys are qualified.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
We
and,
try
and,
to
and,
be.
and you know what? Here's the thing, guys, and I don't want to just self promote here, but the same way that when we were in the military, we don't do it for the government, right? We don't do
Okay.
it for ourselves. We do it for that brother that's sitting next to us, right?
Exactly.
And the men and women that serve.
Right.
hmm
And that's the same way we approach this business.
Yeah.
We're doing it. We look at you as one of our own,
Right.
and we're going to do anything we can do to protect you. Now,
That's right.
Including laundry, apparently.
If,
well,
if that's what we
if
got to do.
that's- Yeah, if that's what the mission is,
Right,
then
right.
that's what we're gonna.
Yeah, no mission too small.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Wow. Thank you.
Is that in your,
Exactly.
is that in your business card or anything? Because Dave's
we
great at
actually
those.
we just ordered some business cards.
We did.
Okay.
There's still.
They're
I
still
guess
on the
there's-
way.
Yeah, they
We
should
used
have been.
Vistaprint, and I don't know which shipping option I clicked,
Oh,
but they're
good
coming
call.
next week. Yeah,
Right.
but
Yeah.
they get a pretty good deal. But we could update.
Yeah.
I like that slogan right
I
there.
don't
you should
actually. We will
cancel.
probably have to do the next batch because I believe the other ones are already.
And I think we got like 1,000 or so.
Wow.
So we'll probably be working on those for a while.
it says a safe place is a good place.
Safe
Right.
space securities. A safe
Yeah.
place is a good place.
Space to wait. What is it? We put.
I think it's a safe place is a good place. Safe space security.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I mean, hearing this is all well and good as an afterthought, but there was a specific moment where I myself needed my own business cards, and I remember asking Matthew kindly to
Oh, wow.
place the order. I gave him my credit card information.
Ooh.
All these things that if I were to try to attempt myself, I believe I would be in very personal danger. And as they were saying it, they seemed like fishes out of water. They didn't really seem to know, the right way to get these tasks done. If I needed notes on a TV show that I missed, they would mess those up.
Right. Wow.
If I needed someone to
This sounds
make
less
a
like
meeting for me or
And-
clean my office.
And yes, and I will say again, respecting Reginald's wishes as a client, we like to make our clients happy. I was trained in hand-to-hand combat.
I could tell.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, we both have a pretty strict fitness regimen now. We try to stay in tip-top physical shape. We both we trained at the Renzo Gracie studios in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Did you do the underwater course? Because
there's a pretty funny story about the underwater course.
Do we have time for the?
Do we have time for that? Well, I was basically I was in a grappling hold underwater.
Oh, my
yeah, and I actually blacked out at one point. Next thing I know, I'm waking up and someone's about to give me mouth to mouth, and that felt like a threat. That stabbed me right back in.
Yeah.
I grappled the guy right back in. We go back down in the water.
Wow.
We both pass out.
Black out again.
It's it was just.
Have you ever blacked out when you're running errands for someone, like walking their dog or like picking up a package?
It's funny.
One time I asked for a flat white, a flat white latte, and it came out terrible.
Wow.
And I just don't know where is that training going if
you
can't
it
keep me
seems
safe
it's
from a
funny.
mediocre espresso.
Listen, Reginald, we're not Wall Street types, okay? I'm just going to throw that out there. We're kind of blue collar,
Yeah, I would say both of us went into the military originally because I was a kid in high school that needed some discipline, and that's what took me in there. I think you were someone that wanted to challenge yourself, and it really that built us. That really built us, and so if you ask me, can you go run some errands for me? I'm thinking back to being like I've driven a Humvee across Afghanistan, on an overnight mission. I've blacked out there. I didn't have. I didn't.
Well, that was
sleep.
from the
I didn't
explosion.
sleep for 2 days. I blacked out.
There's
from
a
an
trend
explosion.
here.
Yeah, that was-
blacking out.
What was the shrapnel? He's been choked out.
I've been choked out.
He's
I
had-
took shrapnel on the leg one time. And I'm used to a lot of physical altercations. And so, but I'll say this. You get back, you get here, you want to start your own business, you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to make the client happy. If it takes going through and blacking out and, when you're organizing someone's iTunes library, I will work till I black out to do that just because I want to make someone.
And let's be honest here too. Like, I'm not going to make, any qualms about it. The money was right.
The money was right. The money was right.
And
That's why we
listen,
took
and
the job.
Mr. Reginald was very gracious to, for two people that are just starting out with their own firm. He was more than generous.
That's good to hear. Part of the reason we do this podcast, Dave, is to try to get to the bottom of these things, make people happy. But how about this? Here's a thought. You say the money was right. What if it was a little righter? Maybe this calls for a coupon. What do you think about that, Dave?
10%.
Think you can give them
coupon.
10%?
Kind of like
Off your services, yeah?
Yeah, my wife does a Groupon thing.
Oh, Reginald, does that interest you at all? Or
Would I have to
Explore.
interact with any of the people to redeem this coupon, or
it's on the
With the
internet.
people at
so-
Groupon?
could these gentlemen redeem it for me?
I mean, I think that's
That could be our first.
perfectly reasonable.
That could be,
Right.
I guess, our first task is to activate the Groupon for our services.
There you go.
Wow. Interesting.
That would be great.
Yeah.
I just want to, again, I just can't reiterate enough what our background and our training is.
Yeah,
which is definitely
Right.
This is I said earlier about knowing your limitations, and this is just an area that we need to also grow in our business.
Sure.
So,
I mean,
Right.
this could turn us into also a personal assistant firm, I guess. I mean, I think when you were talking earlier about what was the person's name? Delboy King? Who was it? The
Yeah.
guy at the
Delroy Lindo.
Delroy Lindo.
yeah.
Right. I mean, it sounds like he just had made them aware of what his Orange Julius order would be. That seems like that was part of just a like that's like an icing on the cake kind of deal. But if we knew what you would want to order, we could shield you.
Yeah.
from
Oh, that's no problem. Hey,
like we can figure that.
that's no problem. If you have an order, pick up
okay.
your dry cleaning. You want it like this. You don't even have to go there. I will go there for you. Like that is not a problem.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just communicate that with us, and we will be more than happy to fulfill those requests.
Right.
You don't even physically have to be there if you feel safe enough being alone wherever.
I could stay at the house with you.
Wow.
That's
Matthew
Yeah.
could go get something.
Oh, here we go.
Listen, if I stand in front of that door, no one's getting through. Or if you want me to do that, and then I can go through and I don't know, do whatever you had mentioned at one point, retagging all your Instagrams, which I'm not a big internet guy, but I could figure that out. I'm sure. My little girl, she's into that, so I could maybe do some work at home.
She 13?
My little girl,
Mm-hmm.
she's just turned 13.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn! Congratulations.
Hey, thank you so much.
Wow.
God, grow up so fast,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, Reginald, how's
Scary.
it feel to hear that? That's
I mean, that's progress.
I think if I were able to tell them these things, and now that I know that we share some interests, I could communicate more of what I need and what would make me feel safe, and they would maybe do that. If I could tell them which brand of Chex Mix makes me feel safest, they'd know
Right.
to go to the supermarket and
It's the one with
procure that for me. So
it's the one with the cheese sticks.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Cheese
Yeah,
chips?
last time we didn't
you
ask him. We
remember,
just showed up
Matthew.
with a bag of all rye chips, and you
Right.
went
And
into those.
because I just wasn't aware of what, and I think Chex Mix, it's like it's all the same, right? It's there's a little bit of a different ingredient here or there. I didn't realize it was such a.
well, there's a strong delineation between the savory and the salty ones, but you're right. In either
Right.
category, they're going to pretty much taste the same.
Right.
yeah.
All right. Well, I think we've done all we can do here. What do you? Everybody feeling all right?
I mean, I
Reginald?
feel like we just got a client back. And that
Wow,
makes me feel
that's-
good.
And Reginald, listen,
Well, let me
to
ask
put
you
it in
this,
well, go.
Matthew, Matt,
Mm-hmm.
is there any way I could be taught how to black out?
Whoa.
Listen,
It's not a skill.
I
that
don't want to encourage this. It's really
just know that with
something
all the
personal that
problems
is
I face
it's a
every
big
day,
problem.
To be able to just shut them out would be very beneficial.
That's not about. I mean,
Oh.
I'm not condoning completely shutting
Listen,
down.
well, one
here.
thing in the military, you actually have to be choked out, right?
Right,
You have to
do.
be pepper
Yeah, yeah.
sprayed.
Yeah, it's
It's just
you have to take off a gas mask inside a
Choked out, okay.
Yeah.
So we, and again, under extreme supervision, we could show you the military technique to choke out.
I mean, it sounds like you just need a
and
stopwatch.
you would pass out and you would black out, and again, we would video it. We would make sure that it's supervised. So
Yeah, it'd
if
be
that's
safe.
something
And I
that
would-
you're interested
It'd
in,
be safe.
we could arrange that. Because listen, Reginald,
I would
put it in
drift away
military
into
terms.
a safe black space.
Yep.
right.
I guess we could send
Because if
you
you're gonna,
safely
Right.
into a black space, a
Right.
black void. Yeah,
Mhm.
Forever.
yeah.
Well,
well,
not
I mean, it wouldn't.
forever, not
Yeah,
forever,
right.
sorry.
Because
that
we
would be dead. Yeah.
Yeah, we would never murder one of our clients.
Great.
I mean, or anyone. I mean, because we have murdered
Right.
people
Yeah,
because
that's
it's,
behind
that was
you.
the job.
Yeah, that's all classified information.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you let a little slip, but well, what do you think about that, Reginald? 10% coupon. You get a list of goodies that you can pass on to these gentlemen, and they're going to teach you how to black out.
I kind of feel like I'm very okay with this.
Wow. Okay, great. Now, do you feel okay enough to change that rating, or do you want to stick around and maybe try to do a second round of ratings?
I think I'd be willing to give him a half star now and,
Oh, wow.
and assess as
Can you
As things
go
go
back
down
in
now.
and can you go back in and change?
We have we're
Yeah.
in constant contact with Yelp.
We'll follow up with
Yeah.
Reginald.
I can't, but I can get someone to.
Because that would just be
Does that mean
that would be one of us.
Matthew and Max?
That would be our
Yeah.
job.
I'll tell you
Okay.
this: if you guys would go in and change the rating, you can change it to whatever you want.
Oh,
All right.
Oh,
Because here's the I'm not
I
a
just don't-
computer
I
guy,
just don't
but
want to interface.
okay.
Oh,
right.
wow.
Well, we'll
Might be
okay.
a conflict of interest for you.
Yeah.
That's-
Right.
Well,
I want to
feel
do
like we-
things honest, because what is it? Character is doing the right thing
Right.
when no one's watching.
That's right.
And
Yeah, yeah.
and I don't want to, just
Well, here's the
jeopardize-
thing. I could be watching you, and so then that way, that's the thing of working in a team.
That's
it's your
true.
Right,
character.
right, right.
Mm.
So I could watch you, and accountability.
Well,
you know,
you could-
iron sharpens iron at that point. So
Yeah.
brothers.
Well, you guys square that away in your own time. But we hope, Reginald, that this gives you some sort of peace, and hopefully you'll use obviously use the service again, and hopefully this has done good for you.
Looking forward to being in the trenches with you,
Yeah.
Reginald.
Looking forward to doing what you need to keep
Thank you,
safe,
Matthew.
buddy.
Thank you, Matt.
Yeah.
And thank you guys for facilitating this.
Absolutely, Dave.
Yeah.
You got any final words or any slogans or Fast and Furious quotes? Anything?
Well, I think we covered all those.
That's
but,
true. That's.
wait for the business cards to come in.
Oh, that's valid.
yeah.
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 But,
And Vin Diesel, he had a good line, kind of really sums all this up. What was it? He's like, sometimes you got to drive fast, but it can be
Fury.
no, it was like out of control.
Oh wait. Oh, Reginald. Hey, we gotta go. They've blacked out again. I'm so sorry.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So thank you
Okay.
so much for calling in. We really appreciate it. And
Great.
we're excited to hear what you come up with.
Thank you.
All right.
Sorry
Thanks,
about that.
Reginald. All right, Dave. Another one in the books. Feeling pretty good about this one.
Yeah, this one seemed to turn out well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a couple weeks now,
Right.
and a lot of progress has been made.
That's the thing. Yeah, I'd like to hear about it. I know this is a point where we can sort of get a little perspective and see where their lives have gone, if it's gotten better or worse. So I would love to hear about it.
Yeah, basically, Reginald opened up a little guest room in his house
Oh, guest room.
for the boys, so they moved in.
Oh, roomies.
Just exactly,
Wow.
yes. So they're now that they have more access, they can respond quicker. He can feel
Mhm.
safer, and they've been walking his German Shepherd. They've been
Wow.
moving his car for street cleaning,
Wow.
getting him coffee in the morning. He no longer has to go, have that scary
Oh,
face
yeah.
to face at Starbucks. So
I mean, that seems like progress to me. I don't know if it's a situation I would like to be in, living in that house with the four of them. There's chunky bodyguard types and one
no, you don't want all that
other.
junk.
Yeah,
same-
it's a
in
lot
the
of
same
chunk,
room.
but yeah, I'm glad to hear it's worked out and they're back in the swing of things.
Yeah, Reginald is in a safe space now.
Good.
So
Good.
yeah,
Permanently, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for better or worse. But I think we should be proud of ourselves.
Yeah. I mean, I'm proud either way, normally, good or bad. But yeah, I feel good. Glad that we helped good old Reginald out there. Reginald. And it's just another happy customer right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna sleep tight tonight knowing Reginald
right.
is
Being
taken care
coddled.
of. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. If you want more of us, I'm at Remy Balin.
And I'm at Dace Brenner.
And obviously, you can find us all on the social stuff and at Fresh Beef and Fresh Beefcast on Twitter. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. We can't wait to give you some more.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Fresh Beef with Dave and Jeremy stars us
David Brenner.
and Jeremy Balin.
For more information on the podcast, you can visit our website at freshbeefpodcast.com.
Or on Twitter at Fresh Beefcast, or give us a look on Facebook at facebook.com/freshbeefpodcast.
And if after listening to this episode you now have beef with us,
Which is very possible and very meta.
head on over to Yelp and search for Fresh Beef Podcast Brooklyn and do your worst.
Do it. Thanks for listening.